Hello friends, this video on components of food part 5 is brought to you by examfear.com. No more fear from exam. Now in a similar way, we can also try to test if a food item contains protein or not. So let's say a bowl of pulses is kept in front of you and you are asked whether it contains proteins. But now you have an idea, right, that I should be able to test that. The way I tested it for carbohydrates, there should be some other way for proteins as well. Yes, there is. So before we talk about the test for proteins, let's see what are proteins. So these are compounds which are essential part of living organisms. So living organisms, they very badly need proteins. In fact, our body, the structure of our body is also made up of protein. So when you look at the entire body structure of human beings, not only human beings, you should talk about different organisms as well. So you see that proteins, they form a very major part of our body. So they not only help in growth, development and tissue repair of our body, they also form a part of the structure of our body. So if you look at it, inside our body we have enzymes, we have hormones, and all of these play a very critical role. What are hormones? They are nothing but proteins. What are enzymes? They are again nothing but proteins. So the various chemicals which are getting secreted inside our body and they are playing an important role inside our body, they are nothing but proteins. So proteins are an essential part of living organisms. So we cannot think of any life form without proteins. Now some of the food items which contain proteins are milk, cheese, fish, groundnuts, meat, pulses. So these are very rich source of protein. So that is why it is said that people who are non-vegetarian, they already have a lot of proteins in their diet through fish and meat. But those who are vegetarian, that is, they do not eat food obtained directly from other animals, so they should concentrate a lot on foods which are rich in proteins. For example, groundnuts, for example, pulses. So pulses should definitely be a part of your diet because they are very rich source of proteins. Now again the same question, how exactly do we test whether a particular food item contains proteins or not? So let's look at the test for proteins. So for this, what we need is a caustic soda solution. So what is caustic soda? So caustic soda is actually sodium hydroxide, which is written as NaOH, or you can say this is sodium hydroxide. So that is caustic soda. Now again, how do we prepare caustic soda solution? So whenever we have to prepare solution of anything, what we do is we just mix that substance with water, and that's how we are able to prepare solution. Like we prepared iodine solution, we added a few drops of iodine to water and we got iodine solution. Similarly here also, what we will do is we will take some sodium hydroxide. So look at sodium hydroxide. This is how it looks like. It is in the solid form. It is white in color and it is available in the form of flakes or granules. Like here in this picture you see granules, but it is also available in the form of flakes. And this sodium hydroxide is used in paper industries and textile industries a lot. It is also used in soaps and detergents. They are also very good drain cleaners. So those are some of the places where sodium hydroxide or caustic soda is being used. Now let's see, how would we make use of caustic soda solution? So what we will do is we will take around 10 grams of caustic soda, because caustic soda is available in solid form, as I said. So we will take around 10 grams of caustic soda and we will add it to 100 ml of water. And when we mix them properly, what we get is caustic soda solution. So this caustic soda solution will be used to test for proteins. So this is one thing that we need to test proteins. Now there could be another solution that we can use, which is copper sulfate solution. What is copper sulfate? It is CuSO4. So that's copper sulfate. So this copper sulfate solution can also help us to test the presence of protein. So copper sulfate is actually an inorganic salt, that is a salt which doesn't contain carbon. So that's why it is so you can say it is an inorganic salt. So So look at it, it is like in the form of crystals. So it seems to be powdery, but actually when you look at copper sulfate solution, it is like a powdered form of copper sulfate crystals. So it is formed when copper metal is treated with concentrated sulfuric acid. So copper is a metal, right? So when copper metal is reacted with concentrated sulfuric acid, so then you get copper sulfate. So that's how you get copper sulfate. Its color is bright blue in color. It is in crystalline form. So if you look at it more closely, you will see that it is like tiny crystals of copper sulfate, and it is highly soluble in water. So it is water soluble. So it will be easier to make a solution of copper sulfate. So when you mix it with water, it will get dissolved in water. So how would you prepare the solution? You take approximately 2 grams of copper sulfate and you add it to 100 milliliter of water. So what you get is this copper sulfate solution, which is slightly blue in color, obviously because the crystals are blue in color. So when it dissolves completely in water, so the solution also turns blue. So now we are ready with the caustic soda solution and the copper sulfate solution. So now we will see how exactly do we test a sample with for protein. So let's look at the procedure. So let us think of a substance which is rich in protein. So here I have considered the example of pulses. Now pulses are very rich source of protein. So we know that they contain protein, but here we will just try to perform this test using the caustic soda solution and copper sulfate solution to see that how it proves that it contains protein. So for doing this test, the first thing that we have to do is we need to make a paste of this pulses, because the pulses are like in the form of granules. So you actually need to make a paste of it, maybe in the mixer grinder. Once you make a paste of it, then take the paste in a test tube. So this is your test tube, and inside the test tube you take the paste which you have prepared by grinding these pulses. Now here you would have the paste of the pulses, and you also add some water to it. So you will get a kind of a liquidy, a semi-liquid thing which has the paste of the pulses and some water. Okay, so now what we do? Now we add to it some 2 drops of copper sulfate solution. So around approximately 2 drops of copper sulfate solution is being added to this test tube. And then around 10 drops of caustic soda solution is added. So you first added 2 drops of copper sulfate solution, then you added around 10 drops of sodium hydroxide or caustic soda solution, and then you shake it really well, the test tube, so that all the things get mixed together very well. The caustic soda solution, copper sulfate solution, the paste of the pulses, so everything should get mixed really well. Now once you have shaken it really well, after that you leave it undisturbed for a couple of minutes. You just leave it as it is, do not move it, do not shake it. So leave it for some time, and then what do you observe? You observe a change in color, as you can see here. So what happens is a violet color appears. And this appearance of violet color indicates the presence of proteins. Now if the violet color doesn't appear, that means protein is not present in the sample. But in this case, pulses are very rich source of proteins. So obviously violet color appeared. So this is how you can test. So not only with the pulses, you consider any item. Maybe you can take some potato, smash them, put them in a test tube, add some water, and then you add 2 drops of copper sulfate, add 10 drops of sodium hydroxide, and just try to see if the color changes or not. So if the color changes, that means, if the color changes to violet, that would mean that proteins are present in potato. If it doesn't, that would mean there is no protein present in potato. So this is how we can check which food items contain proteins and which do not. So here we would say in this scenario that the protein test for the pulses is positive. Now similarly, you can try out the protein test for various substances, and for all of these substances it turns out to be positive. Whether you talk about groundnut, you talk about fishes, you talk about yogurt, you talk about pulses. So for all of them, the protein test is positive. Thank you. Please visit www.examfear.com to watch more educational videos with a better experience. Please do not forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel for latest updates. Thank you once again.